basically, the point of this podcast is not content creation. As a matter of fact, there are plenty of content creators out there that do amazing stuff on Tolkien's lore, far better than I could put them out there. And there are also other people who stream on Twitch talking Tolkien. The Tolkien Professor actually is streaming on a couple of different channels, including on the Lotro mainstream, where he talks lore as well. And I will be jumping on, actually, it seems like I will be jumping on possibly to a couple of Lotro streams to talk Tolkien lore as well. So if you're looking for content, yeah, we're not... my main goal is not to be a content creator because there's a lot better and more awesome produced stuff out there. I do have a full-time job, so I'm not looking to replace that. I'm a minister just like Matt, but I work with the United Methodist Church here in Racine, and so I do children, youth, and family ministries. So that keeps me quite busy. This is a hobby. What I'm wanting to do is build community.
Yeah, let's do it.
Community over content creation. So the idea is friends and people that we've just met jumping up on the stream and being able to talk about all things Tolkien, getting into all areas. So community over content creation, and also resisting gatekeeping. Because the reality is that gatekeeping has become very much a thing among some areas of Tolkien enthusiasts, which is really funny because when you get to the level where I've had a chance randomly to meet some extremely high-level people into Tolkien, we're talking scholarly level, people who can understand and read and write and teach other people to read and write in Elvish and Anglo-Saxon, the actual real language Anglo-Saxon, well, non-fictional language Anglo-Saxon. And you get into that, and all of a sudden you're going, wait a minute, they're not angry, and they're not gatekeeping, and they're not holding this over anybody else's heads. They're excited. The highest level people into Tolkien are excited to share this with other people. And I think it's ridiculous that anybody should be anything else. We're going to be getting into all things related to them, including Magic the Gathering and D&D and any number of other things that are related to Tolkien's work, and we want everyone to feel welcome and no one to feel judged. We want to inspire more enthusiasm in people, which kind of leads to one of the last things, which is we kind of reject fan culture, period. Sure. I am not a fan of Tolkien. I call myself an enthusiast. Other official terms that you find on the internet are things like a Tolkienian, because I don't use the word fan because the word fan has been co-opted by a very entitled and consumeristic culture. The reality is Tolkien's work, more than anything else, is not owned by the fans. It's just not.
Right.
The Tolkien Society exists to safeguard his original visions and to promote his work. There are multiple scholars at work continuously publishing new books about his life and of his material, and his estate is fully active and running when it comes to safeguarding his work. So they have the right to do what they want to with his work. They do own it. So it's kind of this, sense. There's this balance where it's like gatekeeping is completely unnecessary and not helpful in the Tolkien world because his work isn't going anywhere.
Right.
It's not like they're going to have a new... It's not like in the Star Wars or Star Trek community where, it passes on to new owners and people write new stories that erase old stories.
Right.
That's not a thing. Tolkien's stories are bedrock. That
makes sense.
They're not going anywhere. Do you enjoy all adaptations of his stuff? I don't. not all. And that's okay. But the cool thing to remember is at the end of the day, you can always turn it off or not buy it and go back and read the books because the books are never going anywhere, ever.
Sure. Sure.
And there's new ones that have just come out. In the last 20 years, 5 new books have been added to the legendarium of beautiful stories that a lot of people had not read and been waiting 50 years for. So it's like there's plenty happening in the Tolkien community. We don't need to worry about fan culture. We really don't need to worry about any of that toxicity. We're just here to be excited and to get other people excited.
Yeah,
so
that's so
cool.
cool.
Yeah, so that is the goal of this podcast, is to build community where basically we're going to have a series of guests, and people can actually, once you have become a guest and be approved to be on the stream, if you're available anytime where there's another stream, you can pop in and actually say hi and just be a part of the community. And you do not have to have any level of expertise. All you have to do is have enthusiasm.